I definitely understand what you're saying right now. Yup.
Watermelon,
Wrench,
watermelon, watermelon.
Wrench understands
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Wrench.
That
We're
made
having the
Wrench
best
really
conversation
happy.
right
He
now, aren't
really
we?
liked what
Yeah.
you communicated to him.
Aww, he's so cute. I love birds. Birds are the best. I love them so much.
I like eating
I love
them.
them so much. I
Oh,
even have.
I, uh, oh,
I do too.
he left. Hello everyone, I am the ChoZen one. We're doing a very special video today. This is episode 2 of ChoZen for Christ. We have a very special guest and good friend of mine here today. Let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name's TrueOrions. I'm a leopard gecko girl from space. But more importantly, I'm a Christian, and this is why I'm here today. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy to have you here. Prior to this, we've been just talking about all kinds of things. I'm so excited for her to have this platform to share so many things about herself. She's wonderful. You guys are gonna love her. You know, just
thank you.
take your time, enjoy, you know, speak on anything you want to, you know, it's all good here. So yeah, today we're gonna be talking about Onion's testimony. She's gonna be going over her testimony. I'm really excited to hear it, and I think you guys are gonna love hearing her testimony. So Onion, if you want to talk a little bit about yourself before your testimony, and like just introduce yourself about what you do, a little bit about yourself, and then we'll segue into your testimony.
Sounds perfect. Yeah, I would love to. So, like I said before, I'm a Christian and I'm a leopard gecko girl. What's the deal with that? I absolutely love reptiles. And you guys will see why later on. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm really thankful to be here. So again, like I said before, my name is TrueOrions. I'm a variety streamer on Twitch. I like playing all sorts of different games, from content warning to Coral Island to soon I'm going to be playing Grounded on the channel. And I pretty much like to do whatever seems fun at the time. I'm surrounded by a lot of very wonderful people, and I call my chat my gecko brains. It's an affectionate term that I've coined a very, very long time ago. I am really thankful for everyone who spends time with me. And off the screen, I'm a big nerd. I'm a huge nerd. I like to research things, particularly reptiles and mythology and cryptids, and also God. And I try to keep myself really busy, especially since I have ADHD. I found out as an adult that I have ADHD, and because I also have some other health issues, it's always good to just keep it rolling, keep positive, and just keep being grateful to God for each day.
God bless you. I'm so proud of you. I just want to say how proud of you of everything
Thank you.
you've been through. I'm sure a lot of people are going to resonate with what you're going to be sharing today. I think a lot of people need to hear it, and I'm glad you have a platform to finally speak on it. And
Me too.
don't be nervous. You could just, you know, we're just vibing, you know. It doesn't have to be so like serious. Continue if you would like to give a little bit about your journey with Christ and your testimony. Would you like to share that with us today?
Yes, please. Before I begin, I just want to say, if you're someone that really struggles with mention of topics like SA or suicide or stuff like that, don't feel bad for not being able to watch this part of the video. I'm not going to go into depth about it anyway. I just want you to know in case you have those triggers. There's also a trigger for eating disorders, because I dealt with that too. But I guess the best way to start with my testimony is in the very beginning. I'm very fortunate to have been born into a wonderful family. I have a little sister, I have a mom and dad, lots of animals, really nice family. But we weren't always the nicest. There was a lot of things I had to learn from outside sources. And that's not necessarily what brought me to Christ. So throughout my whole entire school journey, I went to a public school, and I was severely bullied. I was name called, I was punched around, I was thrown around. I really went through it with people, and I'm not mad at them anymore, because I know now as an adult that because of sad things in their lives, they might have taken it out on me. But it took me a long time to get to that point. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and it kept escalating. And people started to notice I wasn't like some of my other classmates. I most likely have some sort of undiagnosed neurodivergence disorder. We did find out as an adult that I have ADHD, and I think that probably helped with it, because I was always told by everyone that I was just too much of a chatterbox. Like, certain teachers didn't like me because I just kept chattering all the time, and a lot of people were watching certain stuff that I wasn't able to. I wasn't allowed onto YouTube or social media until I was like in middle school. So I watched a lot of TV, and I basically grew up on Animal Planet, and didn't really see that many cartoons. I just didn't connect with my peers very well. And it sort of boiled into a really scary situation in high school. High school is sort of where everything starts for me. In high school, I was so lost and so mistreated by almost everyone around me. Like, the teachers were really on my case. I was getting detentions for really, really silly reasons that I really shouldn't have gotten. That I know now as an adult, that it was most likely them abusing their power, and the superintendents and the principal wouldn't do anything. I was being severely bullied by a few students who would actually go outside of their classrooms and into my classroom during class to mess with me, and the teachers would just ignore it, which is absolutely mind-boggling, especially since I went to a very small public school. And then during all this chaos, people started commenting about me. I'm a very small person. I'm a very petite person. And they started making fun of me about it. They called me twig. They called me all kinds of things that you could think of. Like, they said that no one would ever want to be with someone like that. No one would ever want to hang out with someone that doesn't look like a girl. And it didn't help that I wasn't very dressed up in that way. I have always been more of a tomboy, and it continued on and on and on, and it made me really hate myself at the time. And for about 3 years of my life, because of that, I wasn't able to look in a mirror. It wasn't until quite recently that I was able to look into a mirror and to do simple things like, brush my teeth and to do my hair in the mirror, because if I ever looked at the mirror, it would only be like a glance. Now I'm able to, and I'm very happy about it, but it became a huge issue because these girls who just kept singling me out put it in my head that I just wasn't the right weight. I wasn't the right amount of curviness. I wasn't the right amount of smart or pretty or anything. And it didn't help that the teachers were just letting this happen. And some teachers would actually echo that back to me, which is not okay in any way, shape, or form. And it resulted in me developing anxiety and depression and an eating disorder. And for a very, very long time, I didn't want to get up in the morning at all. I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't want to open my eyes. I just wanted to lay down and listen to music, or just research about animals at home and just not do anything. And I was so angry at that time. I was so full of bitterness and hatred towards myself, and also towards people, that I just was completely blind to how there was good things happening to me around that time too. And because I was in this very vulnerable state, I started dating a upperclassman who I didn't know at the time actually had a who actually had a reputation of preying on girls like me, and I was his perfect candidate. I won't bring up who he is, and I really hope he has changed as a person. And I don't say this to shame him, because we all have grown, most likely, after this, because this is many years ago. But he took advantage of the fact that I didn't like myself at all. And he was the one and only person around that time that was telling me things like I'm beautiful and that he loves me and that he could see a future with me. But then at the same time, he would comment about my hair, comment about my clothes, comment about my school, like my grades and everything. And I found myself being a really good, like almost A+ student all the time, being someone that had Fs all the time, because I fell into a rut of just following him and what he wanted. I started dressing immodestly. I started changing how I talked, changed my interests and stuff, because I thought I had to do that to be loved, because I hated myself so much. I changed literally everything for him, and he was not worth it at all. And he was going through a lot at the time too, and he would use that as a manipulation tactic, because I do have a big heart. I always have, and a lot of people have told me that that is my biggest downfall, because I care so much about people. And if anyone's listening that has the same thing, don't think that way. It is a wonderful blessing from God. It is a wonderful blessing to
I
have.
agree.
Like, you were meant to have your caring heart. There needs to be more people in this world who care, because everything that's going crazy in this world right now, a lot of it stems from a place of where they were raised in an environment, or are currently in an environment, that there's no listening ears or anyone that's showing extra care towards them. And what I'm about to say next would have been, I think, avoided if I had some people in my life who would show me that. Unfortunately, this guy, as we were dating, pushed himself upon me, and I was assaulted for a year and a half every weekend. It's very, very hard for me to say, but it's something I've wanted to talk on for a while. Because when that happens to someone, it completely changes who they are, because they can't, do normal things like what people say are normal. Like, they can't go and just be around like the opposite sex anymore, or not be afraid of certain people, and they just kind of like hide in their own shell sometimes. And it's really hard for those kind of people who go through that, because it's very alienating. Like, it's not your body anymore. It's like there's no safe space anymore, and it's an absolute tragedy. And unfortunately, 1 out of every 5 women, I believe that's a statistic, I'll have to look that one up. Unfortunately, a lot of women and men go through that, and it's a horrible, horrible experience. And it took a very, very long time to feel like myself again, and to learn who I was again. And as you can tell, something that traumatic happening during high school had a huge effect on me as a person. I was very aggressive towards everyone. I was honestly kind of mean. I was really mean, and I hate that I was mean at that time, but I was really hurting, because most times when people act out against others, especially when they're younger, it's because they've been through something terrible. Does not excuse their behavior, no, but that is where they come from. And I lashed out at my family at the time, and they were lashing back out too, because they didn't exactly know what was going on. They knew there was a huge change in my personality and everything, and my school was really pressuring them about everything. It was a really, really hard time in my life. And it was made even more difficult because the guy who did this to me, he previously did it to another person, and she made it her mission to actually try to harm me. And I suddenly found myself not only a complete outcast, because before I had like a few friends, but I had older upperclassmen actually trying to unalive me, which was very, very scary. And I just felt so lost and confused and hurt. I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't have anyone to turn to. I was so angry at this world for what it's done to me and for people. Like, I stopped caring, even though it hurt to like lash out at people. I felt like that was the only way that I could survive. I started cussing. I started doing like not very good behavior at all. Like, I was just shutting down completely. I stopped researching animals, which has always been like the biggest like, I guess, hobby or passion of mine. I stopped singing, which is also one of my biggest passions. I became selectively mute for about a year, and teachers took advantage of that to make the situation worse. And finally, by the grace of God, I was finally able to kick that guy to the curb, and I left that high school my sophomore year, and my family took me to an online school, and I started to rebuild myself. And I realized at that point that I can't continue on like this, because I lost so much weight that I was almost just a human skeleton, and I was being told by doctors that I wouldn't thrive anymore and that I have to eat, but I was having trouble eating. And it didn't help that every single time I would try to eat during this time, that I would just burst into tears because of what people told me at that time. And I didn't have any friends to talk to during this. I didn't. It was just my family, and they didn't know how to help. And I don't want you guys to think that it was mean of them to not be able to help me through this, but neither of them have ever seen this happen or gone through it, and they just let me be because they thought that was the best for them to do. And during this time, I would just stay in my room. I wouldn't do anything, and whenever we'd go out to town, because they'd make me every once in a while, I'd actually be so afraid of guys that they had to stop taking me to restaurants. They had to stop taking me to places because I was so afraid of guys that I would just be an uncontrollable mess. And I almost made a terrible, terrible mistake. I made a decision and a plan, and I wanted to leave this world. And before that happened, sorry, I'm getting kind of teary-eyed again.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to talk about my testimony.
I understand. Sometimes. It's fine. Take your time.
Yeah, especially since I have a lot of traumatic stuff. Anyway, around that time, a friend of mine that I really truly loved and that I kept in contact with since I was a little baby, but I didn't get to see him all the time, like maybe once every 2 months, I got the news that he unfortunately took his life at 16. And at 16, I had to go to his funeral, and it was around this time that I almost made this terrible choice. And looking at everyone in hell, how they were dealing with this tragedy, like this absolute tragedy, made me realize that every single life, no matter what you've been told, no matter what people think, no matter what people's opinions are so important and so valuable and just so unique and lovely, and it's a true gift. Like, life is a true gift. Like, just being here and experiencing things. Like, yes, this was a terrible, terrible tragedy, but feeling that pain brought me out of one of the worst places in my life. And the worst thing is that I could tell I was going down the same path completely. Because like him, I didn't tell anyone I felt this way. I was just stuck in my own head, my own poison, my own hell I made of myself. Because I didn't know any better. Because I didn't know who to reach out to. And unfortunately, that happens to a lot of people. People forget that we were made to have emotions. Because they help us through terrible things like this and through great things. It's not a weakness at all. It's actually one of the biggest strengths that God has given us. And I will always miss him. Always. Like, he always is on my mind. Always. Because he was so important to me. But I'm grateful that from that experience, I saw firsthand, like, what would happen. And it was the dose of reality that I needed. And I realized I needed to change something. And I need to look into something. And unfortunately, I downloaded TikTok for the first time around that time, and I saw a lot of stuff about witchcraft. And I very briefly was in Wicca, and I just kept remembering about how growing up my family would take me into church, and how I'd still pray, because I had prayed every single night since I was little without fail to God. And I just realized just how wrong it was to be doing that at the same time, and it just made me feel even worse. And it made me really confused, because I saw a lot of people saying that they were feeling much better, and that this was like helping them, and it wasn't helping me at all. It was just making me more depressed and more upset, and I was starting to have panic attacks for the first time. And I realized that this was just not the way to go. And then around that time, I started a new job, and I was just trying to do the best that I can, because as you could tell, it was a lot on my plate, because all of this happened within maybe 2 years or so, and it's stuff that I still struggle with, and I'm going to probably for a long time, and that's okay. We all take our own time to get over traumatic things, and it will always have a scar on me. But anyway, I started a new job, and it was really, really, without a better choice of words, cutthroat. It was very cutthroat, very demanding. So I was losing sleep on top of it all too, and I just wanted to give up again. But then Valentine's Day turned around, and I get a text. And this is when things start to get better. I'm not telling you a sad story, guys. It's just the part of a sad story. I get a text from someone that I've always looked up to, that I've actually always kind of had a crush on. My best friend's brother. Now, who I didn't mention before is this family who, throughout all this chaos, actually did stay near me. It's just during that time I didn't feel like I could talk to them. And around that time, they also moved across the country. And without me knowing, the older brother of my best friend actually liked me too. And we were both each other's first crushes. And I get a message from him on that Valentine's Day. And he just wanted to know how I was doing. It was the first person who had reached out since all this terrible stuff had happened, who wanted to know how I was doing. Not my relatives, not my family, but he did. That person was my partner, who's my current partner. And it must have been God. It really must have been God, because something in me told me to reach out to him. And because I'm a very shy person, and I was still dealing with a little bit of a phobia of guys around that time, I was very scared to open myself up and actually hang out with him. And I asked him, do you want to play some D&D? Yeah. Because of D&D and stuff like that, it actually kind of changed my life a little bit. He was like, yeah, I'd love to. Turns out he actually was gonna reach out to me for the same exact reason, believe it or not. So a weekend or so passed, and he decided to DM a session. And if you don't know what D&D is, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's a tabletop role-playing video game kind of thing, except it's like a board game, and you use dice.
Let's go. I love that.
Decide what you can and cannot do. Yeah, I love D&D. D&D's great. I highly recommend it. Actually, it's really fun. But he decided to be the DM, just the dungeon master, so it's someone who crafts the story for you, for me and his brother. And so I finally had something to do other than to just be alone in my thoughts and to work and to be around my family, who I did not have a very good relationship at that point. And it was great. And it was around that time that I realized that I still really loved Nick. That's his name. That I still really loved him. And I was absolutely horrified and terrified because I thought that he'd hurt me. And we played D&D for a while, and it wasn't until maybe like the 15th session, over like weeks and weeks and weeks, that I realized that I should just address it head on. And if it's not there, then I'll just move on. So I remember exactly what happened. The session ended. We were just chatting, having fun, like we actually started to do. And we had this moment where we were staring at each other, like lovingly through a screen, because we were doing this through Discord, so, halfway across the country. And then I asked him, so do you have a girlfriend by any chance? He says, no. Do you have anyone? And I said, no. And then he just asks in an adorable, awkward voice, do you want to? And I said, yes. And then that started like one of the best relationships I've ever had. Romantic,
God.
friendship, whatever. It just started, and it was so good for me in that time. Like, I needed a healthy outside source. And around that time, 2020 rolled in. And ironically, for me, 2020 was one of the best years of my life, because that was the year that both me and Nick started our relationship through online. We long distanced over Discord, and we played games, and I was finally having people to play games with, and they encouraged me to go back into stuff I loved. I finally started playing games. I finally started singing again. I finally started researching animals again. I finally started to look at dreams that I wanted to do. I went to college and graduated with high honors very quickly, because they encouraged me, and they gave me that love and care that I needed. And they even helped me with my phobia of guys, which is non-existent now, and I'm really proud to say that. It was very bad. It was very, very bad. I can't even tell you guys how bad it was. And they helped me get out of my shell more and to be myself again. And it was around that time that I started asking them, why did you do this? Like, why? How were you able to do this? And they said, it's because of God. And for the first time in years, I decided to look into those prayers that I kept saying. I decided I didn't want them to be empty anymore. I decided I didn't want to just have basically what was a ritual. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted a real relationship. And I burst down in tears, and I remember this night, I was sobbing so much that I don't think anyone but God could understand what I said. And I asked him to forgive me, and for all the terrible things I've done, and all of the terrible things that's happened to me, and I asked him to please help me deal with them and get all this pain away and all this panic away and this depression and everything, and to just help. I need peace. I want to love people again freely without being afraid. I want to care about people and not be afraid anymore. I want to live. I want to live. And I swear to you guys, that night, I did feel his hand on me. It was actually kind of scary at first, because I was hunched over in my room, had the lights off and everything, just crying, praying to him, and I felt someone's hand on my shoulder. And of course, like anyone else would, you would look up, you look around, be kind of freaked out, turn on the lights, no one was there. I was actually home alone, so I know that no one was there. I even looked around everywhere, no one was there. And just from that, I knew that I was being listened to, that I wasn't being abandoned, that I wasn't going to be taken advantage of anymore, that I was going to be loved, and I was going to be protected. And just the feeling of relief that washed over me, it was so wonderful. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I felt so safe. And it helped me sleep. Like, for the first time in years, I was getting, like, actual sleep. Like, I was getting full night's sleep. I didn't feel like I had to sleep with a knife underneath my bed. Because I actually did that for a while, because I thought that those kids were going to find me, and I knew they knew where I lived and stuff, and I was just so in fear. And at this point, I knew that they forgot about me, and that it was just time to move on. And I did, finally. And God led me to Bible Project on YouTube. I highly recommend it. Please do research it. It's really, really nice. And it showed me, like, this is what I've been missing. This is the power of Scripture, and that I don't ever have to be afraid like that again, or be scared of stuff like that happening again, just for forming relationships. And I had a lot of stuff that I did that I'm not proud of, you know. Let's be honest, everyone on the internet doesn't really share things that they're not very proud of. But I'm gonna break that taboo and tell you guys, I wasn't the nicest to my baby sister for a long time because of all the stuff I went through. I was just downright spiteful to her for no reason, and I have always regretted it. And it wasn't until I started this journey of doing better that I reached out to her, and I told her that I am so sorry for how I treated you. I want to do it. I know I can't take back what happened. I know I can't take back the things I've said, or the many years of just not the best sibling relationship, but I want to do better. And she, by the grace of God, said that, Onion, I forgive you, and I love you, and I just want you to be my sister again. So, getting emotional again. Since then, I've been taking her out on, like, fun sister dates, and what I mean by that is I take her places, like, fun places that she wouldn't get to go to otherwise, because bless my family's heart, they don't like traveling, they don't like leaving their house, they don't like leaving the small town that's right by them, and she's never seen the world. And since I started being with Nick, he started getting me out there. He started showing me the world. And I'm going to backtrack slightly. So around the time where we started dating, right, I was still extremely depressed. And one of the things that I researched was that to help people get out of this, sometimes, like, finding something that needs your love and care can help you. I already had a cat named Socks, who I've had since I was 6 years old, and I'm very grateful for her. She's single-handedly saved my life multiple times from myself and from other scary situations that I will not mention on the internet. She helped me, like, regulate when I didn't know how to, and she'd love on me and stuff, and she has been, like, the biggest blessing in my life, and she's still alive. She's 22. And no offense to her, but I knew I needed something else to help me through what I was going through. So, after some research, I decided I wanted to get a leopard gecko. And fate have it, well, it really was God. We were going to go to a pet store later that day because we needed to get something for my sister's birds. And as we entered in, there was a panicked worker who came up to me and said, "Will you adopt this leopard gecko?" And I looked at her and I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Will you adopt this leopard gecko?" I was like, "Why?" And she said, "My manager wants me to throw him out because he's on the verge of death. He wasn't eating. or anything for a long time. He's not a baby, so people are not wanting him. And he's really sick, and nothing that I do seems to help him. I'll give you a discount. Please just save him. I've tried my best with him, and I can't anymore. Please, will you adopt this leopard gecko? And I looked her in the eyes, and I was like, yeah. At that time, I didn't know that much about them. I knew enough that I knew what he needed right then, and I picked up this little guy who was just really, really sick. And I looked him in the eye, and I said, I know how you feel. I'm not going to let you go. And I bought him. I brought him home, and he helped change my life a lot. It started a whole obsession with reptiles. ChoZen can agree. I talk about reptiles all the time. Like, when you get me started, I ramble on for hours because I love them so much.
Incredible how
they're
much
really
she knows
animals.
about animals and the
Yeah.
lizards and geckos and reptiles. You guys ain't ready for the content she has planned.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I'm so excited for it.
Your knowledge is
like
amazing.
Thank you. It's all because of God and because of Spot. Like, his name is Spot. I know, I named him like the most generic thing ever. But I took him in, and I wish that I had like the ability to show you guys my memories, but I can't, unfortunately. I spent almost every single waking moment with this little lizard that I could outside of work and dating Nick. Like, I spent so long with him, and one of the things that I started to do, which I know kind of seems silly to other people, but it isn't. It really isn't. I started reading the Bible out loud to him and me, and it helped me feel so much better, and it actually gave us a really nice bond. If you've never kept reptiles before, they don't show affection like how cats and dogs do. Some people actually say that they don't have affection. I think that's codswallop, personally. I think that everything on this earth can show affection, except maybe rocks. But that's because they're inanimate, and I mean like living things.
You don't remember Rocky from SpongeBob?
Looks like you and I are in-laws, eh, Squidward?
But that's impossible. If Snelly didn't win, then...
And the winner is
I can't believe it. My purebred, which cost me $1,700, lost to a rock.
Yeah.
Do you remember that episode of SpongeBob where Patrick had the rock that won the race? Have you ever watched that episode?
No.
Oh.
Wait, I do remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and he ends up winning the race even though it's just a rock. So I think that rock has a lot of feeling.
I guess I'm sorry for anyone who has rock pets. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But it was just nice having another thing that really cared about me, right? And it's just one of those situations that just brought me back to life a little bit. Because if you've ever been around anyone that has been through like a traumatic experience, or if you, like how I have, or have unfortunately gone through that, it takes a very, very long time to start living again. Like, people say that they feel like they're just not there. And I want you guys to know, as someone who's been through that it is okay to not be okay for a while. And please do cry. Oh my goodness, please do cry. It is absolutely ridiculous that we live in a society where they demonize the act of crying. Please cry. I went to college to be a psychologist because I wanted to help people who've gone through things like this, and to help people with depression. And the biggest thing I've seen is that people are afraid to cry. People are afraid to open up to people. Honey, listener, viewer, listen. You are made to cry. You are made to share yourself with others. Don't hide yourself away. That is my biggest regret in my life, that I hid away for so many years. And I wasn't myself for so many years, or fought for myself, or stood up for myself.
Can I add to that?
Don't do that. Yeah, go ahead.
We've actually had this talk together a few weeks ago about crying, and I was actually opening up to you about that, telling you how I'm
Yeah.
very open with my emotions on my channel. I never been afraid to get emotional and stuff. And I just want to shout out my
Mhm.
men out there who, particularly men out there who are afraid to open up and let out these emotions, that
Yeah.
it's human. It doesn't matter who you
Yeah.
are, or like there's this thing that the enemy has put in people's minds, in the worldly things out there, that men can't cry, or that they can't feel things,
Yeah.
or they can't feel joy and cry from touching things and stuff. That's a lie. That
Mhm.
isn't true. There's a difference between
Mhm.
being weak and being like, pushover
Mhm.
and like, just complaining and
Mhm.
crying about stuff all the time. But there's a difference between showing emotion because you are hurt by
Mhm.
someone you love, or you are touched by someone you love, or things like that.
Mhm.
And I want people to know that it is okay to cry. That the reason I cry and I show
Yeah.
that's because I want people to know that it's okay to cry. It's not that
Yeah.
I can't hold back my tears. I purposely don't hold back my tears because I want people to
Mhm.
know that God gifted us these emotions, and crying is, and sadness and sorrow, and even crying of laughter, happiness, whatever it may be,
Mhm.
or being touched by something, that is very normal. It's
Mhm.
human, and men or
Mhm.
woman, it's okay to cry and let out
Yeah.
these emotions. It's not something that's bad. And in fact, it shows
Yeah.
strength. It shows strength in your
Mhm.
character because you're
Mhm.
willing to have
Yeah.
the courage to cry in front of others.
Mhm.
So I want you guys to know that it's quite the
Yeah.
opposite. Those who are afraid to cry, it's is actually the ones that aren't true to themselves and still trying to,
Yeah.
and for those who are that way, it's okay. We all
Yeah.
learn, and I want you to know that it's okay. You could let out emotions, and you're not alone, and
Mhm.
there's people who are not going to judge you for feeling these things. So
Yeah.
I just really wanted
Like,
to put that out there.
thank you. That was wonderful. That was beautiful, and I agree on that. I'm gonna add on to that. Like, I because I'm a huge nerd with science and animals and stuff. I went into the science of crying because I was curious why we cry, and I actually found out this. Did you know that when you cry from different emotions, you let out like different chemicals in your tears? And those chemicals that are released from your tears and also from your brain when you cry are the ones that you need at that moment that'll actually help you to feel better, because crying is a response to stress or like happiness and stuff like that. And when you cry after you've been through like a really particularly bad thing, or like anything that has really frustrated you, like if you angry cry or anything like that, it's actually very good for you. It's very good for your heart health. It's very good for your mental health, and it's actually very very good for your eye health too,
I I want
which
to
I didn't
add
know about until
I
this.
I want to add
Yeah.
something to that. That is incredible. And a lot of people needed
Yeah.
to hear that, because you know what that proves, right? That proves that there is a all-powerful God that created that just for
Yeah.
us. What are the
Yeah.
chances of
He knew.
something like crying being some, notice how we all know that crying makes us feel better. I'm sure a lot of people even know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. But the fact there's a science behind it, this beautiful thing. Like, do you see what she just
Mhm.
explained right now? That's so perfect and beautiful. It's something that serves us. And God
Yeah.
creates this stuff for us because that's how we were
It's
made. Those were the things that were meant to help us. Like, we have these emotions, and some are locking away those emotions when those emotions were so
mhm.
beautifully crafted by God just for us,
Mhm.
so perfectly. So that way, when these situations happen, we could, our body scientifically, like, a lot of guys don't know that
Mhm.
science is real. Like what I mean by
Yeah,
that, like
science is real.
what I mean by that, like
Yeah.
a lot of people think, oh, science versus religion and stuff, but
No,
that's the
not at
thing.
all. They
Like
go
if
hand in hand.
they go hand in hand, the difference is that what you
Yeah.
believe, did science just happen or did someone create that science? And I like to believe that
still-
there's a
Mhm.
higher power that created that science
Yeah.
because it's way too perfect and intricate to just
Mhm.
be out of nowhere. It just doesn't make sense. It's not, I feel that
Mhm.
in the same way that science challenges you to have an open mind, and all these top scientists ask that of people so that they could learn more about the world and humans and animals and all these things,
Mhm.
it's because there is someone out there who's created all this so beautifully and so well made and
Yeah.
just perfect for us. And just the act of crying serves a purpose for us, and has a science
it's
behind it
beautiful.
and everything. It's like science is God made science, and the science of people, the science of nature, the science of the world, a science of like pretty much everything out there. He made everything out there, excuse me. But I also just wanted to say, just to give a little comment on your testimony, that was a very beautiful testimony. I'm sure you have more. I just wanted to at
Thank
least
you.
give a comment before you continue. I appreciate
that
you. Put me through an emotional roller coaster. I was in tears. Speaking of tears, I was in tears this whole time as she was speaking on it.
Me too.
It really,
Me too, to be
really,
honest.
really touched me. I was a mess hearing that. You know, like, I didn't want to interrupt,
it's not
but
easy.
it was
It's
was a lot, and I'm so proud of you, and I want you to know
you.
that God put
That
you
means a
here
lot.
right now. He put you here right now. This is your moment. I want you to know that, and a lot of people are gonna be touched by this, and it's gonna help a lot of people.
I hope so. I hope so.
I know so.
You know, at the end of the day,
it's going to. I know. This is.
I'm sorry if I keep like interrupting. My internet is slightly slow, so I do apologize, everyone, about that. But I just want you guys to know that like another thing that I really dealt with during that time is not only like, you know, the fear of like I can't cry. I can't like show my emotion. I can't tell anyone that's been like this is what's going on. I can't like show that it's bothering me. I gotta be tough. That it's through this like moment of crying, like letting myself cry, that I was so moved and I was saved by Christ, and that it helped me heal. Like, again, like your emotions are there to help you. There are some situations where your emotions get in the way, and what I mean by that is like you're so depressed that you just don't try anymore, because that is a really bad situation when that happens, and I've been there, and it's like the worst thing that I could ever describe. Like sometimes for me it felt like I had a cavern in my chest that would hurt so bad that I was tempted to get like painkillers to help me, which I'm so grateful I didn't go down that path. But it was just so intense, and it wasn't until I started talking to God that it helped. Like, yes, these things don't go away overnight. I want you to know that. These issues do not go away overnight. But God is there to help you heal, and He helps you through this process beautifully. Like He's taking care of you like you're a plant or something. I know it's in the scripture. I can't remember exactly where it is or the exact words, so I'm gonna ad-lib it. So I do apologize if I get a little bit of it wrong. But
paraphrasing,
it says somewhere in the scripture that He prunes you. Yeah, that He prunes you like you would a plant to get off the dead leaves and the dead like parts of the plant, so that you may grow stronger and better and healthier. And I truly believe in that, because He does that. He has made my life into a exact example of that. And that's why He tells you that it does not matter what you've gone through. in your life, he will always be there to love you and be there for you. And if I have not seen that many examples of love in my life. Truly. I have not been loved by people much in my life, but I have been loved by animals, and I have been loved by God, and I've been loved by people close to me who have shown me through God. So, through what I've gone through, it's fair to say that I haven't seen much love from people, or much healthy examples of love. And it is absolutely insane to me that the one being, the one someone, not even just one someone, the creator of the universe, the creator of me and you and everything, even the like tiny little intricacies in our body chemistry, in animals chemistry, like body chemistry, like every single grain of sand and molecule that was placed on this earth, that person loves you enough to look at the things you've done, the things that you're going to do, the things you've been through, the hang-ups that you have, the like desires that you have, the stuff that you're not proud of, like how I had a really bad relationship with my sister. I never tell people about that because I feel so bad about it, but I just did. You know, many people, just because of that, they just completely abandon you. And I know it's become more of a trend because of cancel culture to just abandon people for anything. But he looks through all of that. He knows every lie you said, every terrible thing. And yet, he looks at you and he says, just come to me. Just talk to me. Ask for forgiveness. And you're going to get it. And I love you. And I will always love you. And if that is not a good example of love, then I refuse to see anything else. Because that is the most pure love that you can get. And we didn't even touch on the fact that he sent his one and only son to die in like one of the worst deaths possible for us, to save us so we can be in heaven with them and live for eternity and happiness. And he even cares about us so much that he doesn't force that on us. And he gives us the option of choosing what we want.
Free will.
He gives us the option of free will. He lets us learn the hard way and the easy way and stuff. And sometimes you need to learn through the hard way, because otherwise it doesn't settle in. Like, he uses bad situations that happen because either we cause them to happen indirectly, or the devil makes them happen, and he uses it to
turns it for
form you
good
into something much beautiful. Yeah.
He turns it for good.
Just like with that plant that I mentioned, he takes those dead leaves from our stems. He cuts them off. And yeah, it might hurt to cut them off of the plant, but in the end, you do grow back stronger and healthier. And he curates us into something more beautiful. And it's so amazing to know that the Heavenly Father cares so much about us, that not only did he make this world for us, and how it works together is so intricate that there's like so many sciences, so many things about it, like so many philosophy points about it, that I could just even bring up now at the top of my head, that is just so intense and intricate that not only do we have like separate lives that we go through and separate things that happen to us that still shape us, and separate interests and stuff, and that it just makes the world go round, that he had it in his plan in the very beginning, before he even did anything with this earth, that he wanted you in there. That you are not a mistake, no matter what people tell you. No matter what you may feel, you are never a mistake. The fact that you are here is a miracle in itself. And sometimes we just need to remember that there is a reason why you are on this earth. There is a reason why you are here. And I am so happy that you are here. If you don't have anyone telling you that, I'm going to change that. I am so happy that you are here. I am so happy that we live in the same time, that I'm able to experience the same things that you do, or similar experiences, that we have access to the internet and to people going out there and sharing their life stories, even as hard as sometimes it is to hear them, just to help guide people. Like, I want you to know that the things that you go through are shaping you. Everything that you do shapes you. And it's never too late to reshape yourself. It's never too late to just give everything to God and just tell him, please take control. I'm going to follow you. It's never too late. No matter what you have done, even the worst atrocities, it's never too late. Ever. And he is such a wonderful God that not only does he listen, he helps bring justice. And yeah, just like any other parent, there's a reason why he's called Heavenly Father. Just like any like healthy parent, if you've done something bad, yeah, you might get punished. You might have to learn for the hard way, like not to do this or not to do that. But he makes sure that it's never too harsh. It's never too much.
Everything's
And
for
sure
you. It's to build you up into the person that you were meant to be, your best self.
Thank you.
It's never, ever to just out of bad intentions, ever. It's a perfect, loving God. In the same way when your parents do things because they love you, and that's why they do things. And you know how we go back and we thank our parents, oh, thank you for disciplining me. It's discipline. There's a difference between just doing things out of, you know, bad or like just mean, or like that a parent, that's not what it is. It's discipline. God is disciplining us, and he's making us into a mature and loving and humbling us into the people that we need to be. That's what he's doing.
That was
always.
so beautiful.
No, I was just adding to.
ChoZen.
I was just adding
I
to.
appreciate it.
No, I was touched by what you were saying. I was just giving.
I was
my
trying
thoughts.
to get to that. I just couldn't have the words. Thank
No,
you. I'm
it's
so
here.
grateful. Like, this is why we were made to share, because God puts the words that you need in other people too. It's such a joyous thing that we have each other. Like, oh my goodness, what a joy.
Yes. Praise God.
It would be so lonely if there's only one person on this earth. I know. Some people might think that's like the most amazing experience, that you just get to go and experience everything just yourself. But after a while, you'd be very, very, very sad and alone. It's so good that we have people around us. And in a scientific point of view, we're social people. We are social creatures. People forget that, you know, people are animals too. And that we need people. We need to talk to them. We need actual interactions and connections in person.
I love that analogy.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
I love that analogy. You said that humans are animals too. I think that just ties into everything with the whole like your love for animals and stuff. I think that's just an amazing analogy, because it is true. At the end of the day, we are just another creature on this earth. We're just called humans, you know? But we're in the same way that everyone that's all animals have their, you know, natural habitats, their instincts and all their different traits. It's the same thing as humans. The only difference is that when God made us, he put a bit of himself and his form into us. I believe there's a Bible scripture that says that when he created man and woman, he he blew like a his spirit into us, and that's why we have we're the closest things to God, and why we have like our free will and everything that we have, because that's one thing that's unique to only us, unlike any other creature or animal that he has created.
And he did that on purpose because he wanted someone to take care of this beautiful earth that he's made too, you know, and to name all the animals, and to essentially just go out and enjoy the world that he made.
Yeah, it was
like,
his gift to
us. He is so amazing.
I once heard
like, this
that
is like the best gift.
life isn't really something that's like as like a true meaning behind it. It's God's grace and gift to us, that he gave us life to enjoy it. It's not something that's this complicated or like over, like God just loves us so much in his creation. He gave us all of this as our playground, just to have fun and love each other, love him, praise him. And because of sin, that's where everything went wrong. But in reality, it was all just a gift from God for us to enjoy. And that's why God is in this constant he's guiding us this whole time for us to get everyone back on track. This is why we do what we do, because God is calling out to everyone to return home. How it all started, to just be at peace, have love, you know, believe in God again. Because now we've come to a point where the enemy has skewed things where so much that some people don't even know that there is a God and that created all of us and made us.
It's truly sad.
Like, there was a time when it was just all peaceful, and we're gonna return to that again. That's our goal. We're all here together. We're trying to help others so we could be together as a big happy family in heaven with our Heavenly Father. That is our purpose.
That is our purpose. Our purpose is to go, and I don't know if you've ever seen this in your schools or anything, but in like the science class, like with earth sciences and stuff, whenever they wanted to talk about light, they'd go and they'd bring like a crystal, like a very clear crystal onto your desk. Usually it's like a prism, and then they shine a light into it, and it's like a big thing usually for young kids because they could see a rainbow that comes through it, like pretty much out of nowhere, right? Well, our purpose is to be like that crystal, because we are like that. And God is the light that shines through us and makes a beautiful, beautiful world. Because through his touch, we are turned from something other than just a rock. We're turned into something that actually creates a beautiful phenomenon.
You see, rocks do have feelings.
Yeah, I guess so.
They all tied in the end.
Yeah, see? I might sound crazy just rambling about random stuff.
We're the rocks.
It does tie in.
We're the rocks this whole time. We were God's rocks. We're just a rock. God is the one that gave us that life. Without God, we're just an empty shell. But God is the one that breathed life into us. So in a way, the same way a rock would be, he could have taken that rock and just breathed life into it. That's his choice. But he chose to do that for us. So we're that rock that he chose.
We are. And a really good analogy that I've heard from Bible Project is that each and every one of us is a doorway. We get to choose what that door leads to. We do. We get to decide if that door leads to good experiences and like nice things for people, or, you know, a doorway to just more hatred and stuff like that. And the thing I love most about God is that he's not even a demanding God. He really isn't. Like, if you go and you look at history, and you see like what people have believed in throughout history, like for example, Greek mythology, the Greek pantheon, right? Their main honcho, Zeus, he takes care of the sky and everything. He is a very jealous and spiteful god. Very. Like, there's so many terrible things that happened in that, like, mythos, religion, whatever you'd like to call it, that was because of him, because of his vices, because of his own personal like sins that he's put in the way of his people, and how it like absolutely just wreaked havoc on people. Do we see that in God? No.
That's, I want to cut in here. I feel that, yes, I want people to know when we speak on these other things, everyone is free to believe and have their free will what they believe in.
Please
We're
do.
giving
Please do.
We're giving an example. Well, we're basically what she's trying to say is that there's this misconception that God, the God we believe in, the one true God that we believe in, has these traits, and if anything, it's the complete opposite. He does not have these traits. And if you go and see like, you know, like she said, like Zeus and all these other gods that people believe in, they have these traits, and somehow it has been skewed into thinking that Jesus has those traits, when in fact it's quite the opposite. Our God is the most that gave us free will. He loves us even when we do wrong. He's constantly calling for us, and a lot of people don't know that about his character, and that's because of the world and because of man. Man have, even the churches and the people have not represented God correctly, and I feel a lot of people turn away from God and don't want to hear anything about it because of those people. I want you guys to know that in the same way there's like fake people, there's also fake Christians and fake believers and people who don't
very dangerous.
It's very dangerous. The enemy wants that. He wants to trick people to think that that's the character of someone who believes in God, and that's a representation of God's character, and that is not. The representation of God's character is love.
Can I add on to that?
Of
really
course,
quickly.
absolutely.
I just want to like clarify that we're not telling you what to believe in or what you shouldn't believe in, or like that this is fake or not, or stuff like that, because please do believe in what you believe in. That is your right. That is your right as a person to believe in what you believe in. And this is not here to poo-poo on your own beliefs or anything like that. Like, please do not take it that way. This is supposed to be a good discussion on kind of a hard to talk about subject, because sometimes people are just too scared to talk about certain subjects because people get really riled up sometimes.
When God
like, needs
to speak, we don't hide what we need to speak on. God
I also need to let my
us...
cat in really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead though.
What I was saying that there's
I'm right here. I'm hearing. I just had to let my cat in. She was starting to like attack my door. She was trying to tell me that there's a storm that's happening. I have a cat that's very storm afraid, which is funny because I am too. So
I see. What I was just saying really quick that I feel that no, that's the thing. We are called to speak the truth. The truth isn't. It might offend. It might, it's not meant to. It's not meant to call out anyone or do it. In fact, it's meant to guide. It's always out of love and always out of guidance. So like, it's your free will to just hear this discussion, and we respect each other. I respect the person watching this and their beliefs, and I expect the same in return. That we're just sharing what our experiences with God and why we even believe in him and why we want to share the glory of God with other people. So when we make these comparisons, it only makes sense. It's the same way as if you had a belief and you felt that that was your belief. So you're not going to believe anything else. You're going to believe in your own belief. That's the same way with us. The only difference is that we're sharing the truth of God and what he's done, and our testimony and what he's done in our lives, which is something that it's just until you experience it, you'll understand why God is very much real, and that's why we're called to do this. So I really want anybody who's here who even considers a possibility of that It's very much real. It's so many people. It's not a coincidence that so many people are being affected more and more in this day and age and impacted and changed. That's very much real. The same way you saw my channel go from me not talking about God to now talking about him more. That's not a coincidence. The same way she's here right now and she hasn't really had a chance to sit down and have like a place to talk and open up about this. Why would she just come here? I want you guys to know I only known Onion for only a few weeks.
Yeah, it's been amazing though.
Yeah, but I want
he's really sweet.
I want you guys to know something. Why would she come to my channel? Someone she's only met for only a few weeks and speak about all of this. Why? I want you guys to really think on that, because with everything she has shared today and how she's always struggled to share and be open about this stuff, she's sitting here right now giving her entire story, things that probably were really hard to even say, and she just everything came out and she said everything. That's not a coincidence. God did that. God gave her this opportunity. She had us meet each other. This was meant to happen. This was for her.
Yeah.
And this is for you, everybody watching right now, because God is shining the light on that rock. She's that rock, and it's spreading to everybody watching this video.
And you can be too. And I know that you are already. You just need to trust in him. And if you are someone who's on the fence about this faith and everything, I completely understand. It is hard to believe. It is. Let's be honest. It is. It is hard to believe. But I encourage you, whoever you may be, whoever you are, whatever you believe, take the time to look into it. Okay? Because even if you don't get anything from it for yourself, like for your own belief, you will at least understand where your Christian friends are and your Christian pastors and everyone else around you, and it will actually encourage more unity in this world.
Yes.
So that people understand each other. So even if you got this video and it's not really your own video and you've gotten to this point and you've seen this, I'm really challenging you in a nice way to just go look into it. Go take a afternoon, even if it's just like a few videos or something, or like just reading the Bible. That would actually be the most perfect one, to just be open-minded, and it will change your life. No matter what the outcome is, I know it's going to change your life, because even if you didn't gain too much from it, you at least opened up that possibility of being more open-minded to see why people go to this religion, why it is so important to people,
and
why so many people credit God.
I want to add to that. I feel that that's a big issue, is that people go by what others say or experiences through just a person that is Christian. I want to challenge you today that you're not gonna do to quote Lillamore, you're not gonna look into it yourself and like actually check to see if that stuff is there and stuff, because sometimes people will be saying stuff that's not in there or that's not in our faith and that's not in the Bible, and that you're not gonna check to see like why there's so many people that believe in this and trust so much without seeing. And it's because we have we've seen his grace, we've seen miracles, we've seen so many things that show that we felt God's presence. That's the number one thing. We felt his presence. That's why we believe in him. And everyone can. Everyone can. There's people who have...
You just need to just open up your heart.
That don't believe, and all it takes is that small little, humble yourself to actually be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try and see, and you know what? Let's just I'm bored. I want to try it. You'll be surprised. A lot of people were in that situation, and they felt God's presence, and God has, because God is constantly looking for you. That's the difference. So all it takes is you seeking him, and he's gonna open up your heart and open your eyes, open your mind, everything, and it's gonna change your life forever. And
Yeah.
it's just incredible. I just wanted to say, you mentioned your leopard gecko, right?
Yeah,
And
I
do
did.
you want me to show?
I didn't mention.
Did-
Yeah, go ahead.
She wanted to
Yeah,
share
go
this
ahead. I
today.
love showing off Spot. Yeah. And also for anyone who's curious, because I did kind of move on back then, I was able to raise him back to health. He started a big passion in my heart for reptiles and amphibians and actually arachnids, which was a huge grace from God, because I used to be such a terrible arachnophobia. I used to have such terrible arachnophobia that whenever there was a spider in the room, I could not speak, and I was just I would silently scream and like be as far away as possible, even if it's something like tinier than your pinky. It was that bad. So, and he's worked with me through Spot and through like the reptile community, like watching on YouTube. Like YouTube has been great for that. It's fantastic for information, but do be aware that you should go and look into other sources too, like scientific papers and stuff like that, and vets and actual zoologists if you want to keep like exotic animals that you don't know about that well. But anyway, he worked for me so much that I was able to get rid of that fear almost completely, and I actually held a tarantula for the first time recently. And I would never have guessed I'd be able to do that. So I've gone through so much of a transformation, and it's because of God, and also because of the people around you, or sometimes the animals around you, like little Spot.
That is amazing. Yeah, Onion has shared so many of her pets with me. And
Yeah.
they're just,
He has
it's
not
so-
escaped the pet tax.
it's so amazing, just like learning about all of them, and I can't wait to have my very own too soon. She's been helping me behind the scenes actually find an iguana, because I really want one. I've always wanted one, and I'm so excited for that.
Iguanas are great.
And I'll be talking
Yeah.
more about it on the channel when that time comes, whether it be this year or next year, but
Yeah.
I will be definitely showing it off. And we're going to be doing a lot of collabs together, so I hope you guys
Yeah.
really enjoyed
I'm
having
very
Onion
excited for
here.
it.
We're gonna be doing a lot of
Thank you
things.
so much.
So much fun. I just want to make sure, I don't want to just cut you off, that you have completed your story, right? Or was there more? Because if there's more, you could continue.
No, I pretty much completed my story. I mean, the only thing I would really add was that I've had a lot of near-death experiences, unfortunately. Like, a lot of them. It became something that I used to joke about morbidly, unfortunately, with a few high school friends. And we always would like joke about there must be some reason why I'm still here. You know what that is? That is because God knew that it was not my time, and that he had so much things that he wanted me to do. And you know, I have no doubt in my mind that he wanted me to be here today to talk about my experience and to talk about the things that I did talk about today, to try to help other people. And you know, I'm grateful. Like, every day is a gift. You are a gift. And if no one says it around you, not only do you need to like go out there and go and meet more people, I assure you it'll be good for you. I want you to know that that you are cared about. I might not know you personally. I might not never know you personally, but I know you as that you are a person, and because of God, I love everyone. As much as I try as much as I can to show you all that you are loved. And there's many different types of love, so it's not romantic. I'm sorry. I'm taken. But it is a love. So
Everyone in
loved.
chat's like, darn it. It's okay, guys. You'll find your special someone.
know
Don't
about
worry.
that. Yeah, you will. Also,
Don't worry,
on
guys.
that subject, it's not a bad thing to be single either. It really isn't.
I'm glad you
Like,
brought
there
that
are so
up.
many good blessings
And the
from that. Like,
Bible has
I see so
mentioned
many
this.
people saying, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. It's like one of those topics I talk about a lot because a lot of people are really sad that they don't have a partner. But the thing is that you have you. That's all you really need. Like a partner, yeah, that's amazing. That is a great blessing.
That's a gift from
but
God.
it comes with its own challenges.
Mhm.
It comes with its own challenges and its own like great things with it. But you as a singular unit can do so much. But you can also do a lot as a couple. Too.
I also want to give hope to those that are praying to find someone. God will put that person in your life. So do not worry and think, oh, I'm praying. That means I'm never gonna have. No, that if God knows your desires and what you need in your life, and He's gonna put that special person in your life.
Yeah.
So just keep praying and keep having faith. I mean, I've been
as silly
praying.
as it sounds, you know, as silly as it sounds, I was praying for pretty much like all of middle school and all of high school. And it wasn't until I became an adult that I got that surprise text. I already gave up. You know, it happens in the weirdest situations. It's why there's a whole entire genre of like books and movies called meet cutes, because you just meet someone randomly and you just connect and you never know. You know, and yeah, I would like to add on to that. If you are praying for someone special, they will come. Just keep praying and believe it. It will happen. Like I said, God did not put us here to be alone. We are social creatures, and He knows that that is your desire, and He won't leave you on red. You know, He won't just leave you.
I love that.
Hanging there. Yeah. Praying, it really is like a text conversation with God. It's just you have to know that
and if He does leave you on read, if He does leave you on read and you're wondering what's going on, God, where's the answer, it's because He's gonna come back and He's gonna reply. It's just because He's waiting for a very specific time. You have to wait in His time, but He's gonna respond, don't worry. He's not gonna ghost you, trust me. He's not gonna ghost you.
Yeah, He's not gonna ghost you, don't worry.
You know what He's gonna do?
Unlike some internet friends, he won't ghost you.
Yeah, you know what He's gonna do? He's gonna, you know, when you react to an image, I mean, or react to a message with a little emote. He's gonna react to your message with a little heart emote, and He's not gonna say anything, but He's gonna let you know He saw it and that He loves you, but He's gonna wait to respond when in His time. If it's something that needs time, it's because there's a purpose, and it's gonna happen. Don't worry. He got you. It'll happen. He has you.
Don't worry. And you're not ready. Lose your number.
And you're not ready when it does. Like it's gonna be. So be ready, because it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, be ready. You know, there's actually a Bible verse that I keep very near and dear to my heart. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna say that in a second. My other cat is wanting in. Oh my goodness. Come on in, Shadow! Come on in! She might actually want to say hi. Would you be okay if she says hi?
Yes. Of course, you could come.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, my cat has decided to join us. She just wants to say hello. Everyone that's on my channel knows Shadow. She likes to talk in the mic. You want to say hi? Nope. Oh, nope. She just wanted to jump off of my shoulder. Okay. She might say hi later. She's kind of shy. But anyway, like I was going to say, there's this really important Bible verse that I love and that people kind of gloss over from what I've seen. There's actually two, so I'm gonna share two. The first one is that it only takes a mustard seed size of faith. And if you haven't seen what a mustard seed is, like I'd look it up right now. Like go ahead, pause the video, look it up. Do you see how tiny that is? Now come back. Now come back. Please come back. Okay, great. Good to have you back. But like the little tiny little seed, just that amount of faith is enough to move mountains. And there is no mistake in that. There is no mistake in that scripture. That is there for the people who've gone through a lot, who are at the last ditch efforts of their lives, or it feels like it, and they want to do something and they need help. And it's okay to ask for help from anyone, but especially from God. Because He will go and He'll help you, and He'll help, like I said, He'll help prune your plant so it will grow healthier and larger and better, you know, because it is why He is here. But the important thing is to know is that this Bible, the ultimate book, that everything doesn't contradict each other, and it goes in a beautiful, like, seamless story.
Like a beautiful
and the reason
tapestry.
why is because of God. Yeah. Like, he wove that
Mhm.
through people. Like the Rock. Again, like the Rock.
The Rock. Don't forget the Rock,
He's shown
guys.
through you. Yeah, don't forget the Rock. Very important. Don't forget the Rock. Like, he used you to get through this. Oh. Yeah.
Are you
I don't know if you
okay?
heard that. That was a really bad thunder.
Yeah, I heard.
That
It's
scared
fine.
me. let
And
me
we're
check
outside. We're outside right now.
Yeah. We're outside.
We're in the forest.
Woo!
If you're done with everything with your testimony, I would like for you to read our devotional that we have for today.
Yeah.
If you can. So
I would love
make sure to
Thank
pull
you.
up the devotional. I'm gonna put it on screen right now.
Okay. Oh, this is so wonderful! I love the little Bible! Alright, if you guys have a Bible, I encourage you guys to open it up and read along. And don't worry if it is slightly different in the wording. Many different Bibles have slightly different words.
And
Kinda
just
like
to
with
clarify,
thou and the.
Mhm. This is a devotional that someone wrote, but it includes some scripture in it. So if you want to turn to those
Which is why you
specific
should bring the Bible out for that.
scripture, so you
Yeah.
can look up each one that comes up. So yeah, we'll be going over that.
I hope you guys have a nice, comfy place to sit in and to just relax and listen to the scripture. And before we begin, I'm going to say a quick prayer for all of us. Dear Heavenly Father, please give us understanding and guidance for this scripture in this devotional, and also please lead us through this devotional to do works that you want us to do. And in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. So, Is God Your Source of Encouragement by Victoria Riolino. Oh, wait. So sorry. I'm going to try to say your last name okay, but if I don't, I apologize.
That's okay.
Riolino? Riolino. We're just going to call her Victoria R. Yeah, by Victoria R.
That's
Riolano. Cool. Yeah. It is cool. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6. Encourage to give support, confidence, or hope to someone. Many of us are looking to be encouraged or supported. We may look to family. We look to pastors. We look to friends. We look to self-help books. And we look to influencers. We look to man to give us that boost that will change our lives and our perspective. However, at some point, your friend will decline your call, your books will get lost, and your pastor will disappoint. This is the sad reality of life. Eventually, you will have to dig deep and find your encouragement from someone who cannot fail you. Ever. Do you know who that will be? Do you know who that is, guys? Just keep listening, and you'll find out. He says, be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6. In other words, your courage comes from knowing that he will never leave you or forsake you. Your courage comes from knowing that everything that happens will work out in the end. Romans 8:28. Your courage comes from knowing that no matter what you are going through, the Lord has a plan. Jeremiah 29:11. He has a plan for you. May be hard to believe, but he does. Your inner courage comes from knowing that the Lord is on your side.
Jeremiah 29:11 is actually my favorite. That's my absolute favorite.
Really
I have
verse.
that
I love
as
that
my
one.
I have that as my phone background. I had it for years and it has not changed.
That's wonderful.
It reminds me every day.
My favorite verse is the mustard seed verse.
Yes, I really love that one too.
It really goes to show that you can do anything. Yeah.
Yes.
I have that one printed up on my wall in my office, and I'm actually going to get that. Like, as a framed photo and a framed like masterpiece for my house soon. I'm gonna get what I drew a long time ago to be redrawn by another artist, so I can put that up in my wall as art.
That is amazing. I would just like to say thank you so much for reading that for us. It was so much fun.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
So much fun having you. It was a joy. A lot of emotions, a lot of laughter, a lot of it was quite the emotional roller coaster. I really love this, and I'm very thankful and grateful to God for I just want to say something to everybody, all my friends out there, everybody who's been with me on this journey. I just want to give a big thank you, and that I love all of you very much. You are all very loved.
Aww.
And you're my friends, and I want you to know I'm very grateful that you took the time to do this today with me, and I'm always rooting for you and praying for you, and I'm very proud of you that you were able to do this today.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and you know, I know that this is true. We all go through our own experiences and our own lives, and we kind of get caught up in our own part of it. If you see this, maybe it's time to just go and open up to people and make it not so much just your life, but a life that you live with wonderful people around you. And I'm very proud of you, and I love you, and that I'm really grateful for all of you and for this place that I was able to talk about a testimony, especially since it is something that is very, very riddled with sad things, but it is also full of happy things too. And I want you to know that even though I may not know you, even though we might never know each other, that I care about you, and that so many people do care about you and know you. And I hope this video encourages you to sit down with your thoughts just a little bit, to think about the things that we talked about, and to think about maybe just reaching out to God. Because the good thing is you don't need his phone number to call him. You could just pray to him, just in your head or out loud, and just say, God, let's talk, and he'll listen.
Very well said. This young lady knows exactly what she's talking about. She's been through a lot with God, and it really shows. And I feel that your experience with him and what you shared today is really, really gonna be an eye-opener for a lot of people.
I hope so.
And it's gonna touch a lot of people's heart. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you. And I want you to know that you're welcome here anytime to do another one of these, or do any kind of like gameplay, whatever it may be. You're always welcome on this channel anytime. And I want you to know that I encourage you to make content just like this about your animals, and spreading your faith in God, and just whatever God is calling you to do. I really see it, and I want to see that from you, and I look forward to it so much.
I do too, and I will. You know, I am someone that kind of let fear rule me, and I'm not going to let it happen anymore. I'm going to let God break those shackles from me, and I'm going to be set free, and I'm going to go out and do a lot of things. I'm just really grateful that ChoZen here gave me a platform to talk to you guys, and he is something very special. So please keep on following him. Really do. He has something really special to give to the world. There is no mistake in my mind that God set us up to be friends, and I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for him. But if you guys ever want to see my content, please keep in mind that I am on Twitch, and that I want you to behave on Twitch, and also behave on here, because you should be behaving anywhere. Okay? But you are more than welcome to come by to have fun. More than welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna link all of her channels in the description. Please support her and show her love. She really deserves it. Very underrated. She has so much lovable energy. She's an amazing commentator, and she's so funny. I'm always laughing so much when I'm watching your streams. You're just such a joy to watch.
Oh,
And you
I'm
bring
glad.
such a light. You bring such a light. I can't speak. Oh my goodness. You bring such a light.
It's okay.
to-
I must have infected you.
Red's just like, I'm out
Oh
of
my
here.
goodness. Oh no, Red is gone! Oh no! It's
Not-
okay, I'm not gonna infect you, Wrench! You can stay! I like you too much!
Wrench loves you. He knows how much you love animals. Trust me. He's a big fan of you.
He's such a good bird.
He's a good bird.
He's
Thank
such a
you
good
guys so
bird.
much for
Aw.
watching. This was amazing.
Yeah.
God bless you all and have an amazing and blessed week.
God bless you! Whew, we did it! We did it! I like chicken.
He